You're just a dead man walking. 3 people agreed. The market will own you, and these people were right. I got owned. One trade. I lost $1,740, and it literally wiped away 9 days worth of profits. But you know what? I am still nicely green, all things considered. Wait a minute. You're still green. Yes, I am still nicely green on the month. Here we are looking at my broker's information, which is Lightspeed if you're curious, and let me scroll down here and we'll go to the month to date so far. There is that big loss that occurred. Now it's not as big as what you saw because on that day I did go and make some more trades and I reduced the loss down a little bit. But down here you can see currently I am up $4,209.79 after having gotten owned on that one trade right there. Now, how is this possible? I want to give a little backdrop and context here because you saw that opening comment, and I've had a few of these recently, given that I've started to get more aggressive. And so, like I said, I want to offer up some additional context here. But I mean, how can all this actually play out? Because that doesn't seem to make sense when you see, wow, one single trade wiped away 9 days of profits. And well, there's 2 reasons why this still makes sense. The first, and before I get to all this, but that I want to really drive home is, for those of you that have been tracking my channel, you know that I've moved into SPX options and you know that I've been going very, very slowly. How slowly? Well, over several months. I was going to say 3 months, but I think it might actually be a little bit more than 3 months, but several months, over 300 trades worth of data. Again, if you've been tracking the channel, you know that I've been showing you the data through TraderView, and I've been, well, figuring things out. Figuring out how SPX options move, getting to know their personality, another long time theme on this channel. All asset classes have personalities. A lot of people trade the same ticker symbol over and over again because they just get to know how it tends to move. And that's what I've spent time doing, figuring out how SPX options tend to move. And yes, that has brought out some people in the comment section saying, what are you doing? Like, there's such small gains. Shouldn't you be doing a lot better? And I can understand where they're coming from. But like I said, if there's one thing I've learned in my almost 2 decades of trading is when you're in a new asset class, start small, start slow, and then get to know how things behave before you start to get more aggressive. And I've now started to get more aggressive, and now all of a sudden I'm a dead man walking, the market's gonna own me, and yeah, I got owned. But with the strategy that I'm using, which is where I'm looking to build positions, yes, that comes with the territory. You will get owned when you take those losing trades. However, there's 2 buts. The first but is it needs to be a high win rate strategy. And if you're winning the vast majority of the time, that's fantastic. That is what is certainly going to be required because yes, again, those losses, when you get owned, it's gonna take a dent out of those gains. But the second thing here is you can't assume that, okay, so all it does is produce big losses. No, that's a faulty logical sequence there. It is also going to produce good solid gains. Case in point right here, we have a $1,700 win, we have a $1,035 win, and then right there we have a $730 win. And then of course mixed in with all these other wins are just some good, solid, consistent, modest wins. So, 245, 330, 320, 267, 260, did not trade right there. And then yeah, there's also some other losses. So it's not like every single loss is also going to be a massive epic you got owned type of loss either. But yes, these types of losses, they will happen with the strategy. But when you have the vast majority green and then you sprinkle in some nice little quality bigger wins, the strategy can still work itself out. Now, I'm sure some of you are already aware of this, but there's clearly other people that just don't have any idea. And I get it. Again, when I was new, I thought I knew, Dunning-Kruger effect, classic, psychology principle out there that not only applies to trading, but applies to other things. But the Dunning-Kruger effect, you show up, you think you got it all figured out. And so much so that now you're on YouTube and social media, throwing, comments and feedback at other people. And I appreciate the feedback. I love the feedback. I mean, this was a good comment. I love the title of this video, Dead Man Walking. So that's fantastic. I love the feedback. My point here is, and this goes to anybody, myself included, and not trading but life, let's all make sure that we have more so a fuller understanding of how things work before we start throwing out our own feedback. Again, I am just as guilty as anybody else. I've done it probably one too many times, within my life, within various aspects. So there's a kind of a side learning issue there. But at the core, what I really want to drive home is, first off, go slow. Go steady before you get aggressive. Had I just been, all right, let me try SPX options. Let me just get aggressive right from the get-go. That's not a good situation to be in. So, but when you go slow, get more comfortable, then you can start to get more aggressive. And then you're seeing here, the wins start to add up that much more. But yeah, the losses add up a little bit more too. Now, maybe you're saying, Clay, that was one example. That's like you're cherry picking one data point, and that's a fair point. So oddly enough, this was a previous time in October from several years ago. I did this video here, and you can see right here, once again, that one loss right there, wow. Did that loss, which was on that day at least, I'm not sure what the individual trade was, but wiped away $1,800. Actually, I take that back. In this video, the loss was $2,600. So I do remember that. But in that video, the loss was $2,600. Came down and, fought back a little bit on the day, reduced the hold down to minus $1,800. But yeah, that day, that trade in and of itself wiped away a whole bunch of gains. But again, and this is from back here in 2018. So basically 5 years ago. But same general idea that you just saw here. Now, first comment. What needs to happen? That first, well, it's got to be consistent. It's got to be a high win rate. And I only had one red day, so I think we can all agree that's pretty high win rate. Second, there's also got to be some bigger gains that come with it, and you can see a couple, $1,000 gains, and then all of a sudden sprinkled in, you have some other quality gains within the overall grand scheme of things, which still allowed for $11,300. So I hope this helps add some perspective that yes, the position building strategy, there are going to be big losses. I am going to get owned, but that's only a little sliver because within the broader strategy, things can still work itself out. Now, this may not be a strategy for you. Maybe you're sitting there saying, Clay, I don't want to have a strategy where when I take a loss, it can wipe out days and days of gains. I completely respect that and understand. We're all different creatures of risk tolerance. We have, different comfort levels. So I'm not saying you're wrong to trade like you are, and I'm not saying I'm right to trade like I am. But what I'm showing you and telling you is that a good strategy with a high win rate, yes, those losses can be bigger, but within the bigger picture, they can work itself out. But you got to have a high win rate, and you got to make sure you have some good quality wins, sprinkled in there also to keep things balanced, and then let those modest gains, do the rest of the hard work. So like I said, if you want more context, let me know in the comment section. I can dig around the channel and find other videos. But this is nothing new. I've talked about this time and time again on the channel since 2013 when I first started it, that if you're doing these more aggressive type strategies, losses will be bigger, no doubt about it. But then because of these other reasons discussed, within the bigger picture, things can work itself back out in your favor. But also to remind you, this is not me saying you have to do this strategy. I'm not saying it's a holy grail strategy. I'm just saying that you got to go out there and figure out what works for you and want to give some context. Because I know there will be more comments from these people when they watch the live trade videos and, oh, this is terrible. Oh, you're just waiting to blow up your account. And yeah, I understand, but here's the additional context. I hope those people would still be watching at this point, but sometimes you got to wonder, are those people just kind of having a bad day? I'm not quite sure, but if that's somebody that's you and you're still watching, first off, I applaud you. Thank you for watching the whole video, and I hope it did help. But for everybody else, same to you. I appreciate you watching, and hopefully this helps. But yes, that one loss did wipe away those 9 days of gains, but so far, so good. Got 2 more days left in October, but I think I'll finish strong. So thanks for hanging out. If you have any other questions, let me know down below. First off, thanks so much for watching the entire video. Real quick, before you go, I want to invite you to a live webinar, web class, training, workshop, online event, whatever you want to call it, but it will be me live revealing to you what I've discovered that has allowed me to transform myself from being an employee to being my own boss, including how I had only 1 losing day out of 73 days in total. I'm going to cover 3 keys that have helped me unlock profitable consistency within the markets. The first key is super weird, but in a productive type of way. The second key is super awesome because it quite literally is wired into our DNA as humans, making it very easy to use. But in a cruel way, this becomes a pitfall for many traders. I'll explain it all though, including how to avoid the pitfall that it creates for some. And yeah, the third key, when you hear it, sounds way too good to be true, but it's not, and I'll show you how it all works. Then at the end, I open it up for a question and answer session that is, again, totally live. Even if you can't make the live session, please still sign up as it will be recorded and you can go back and watch the replay that I will send you. Click the image on the screen or click the link down in the description box so you can get the date and time and claim your spot, which I should note is limited due to the fact that this truly is a live event. If you have any questions, let me know. If not, I'll be seeing you soon.